How Rihanna became the wealthiest female entertainer or singer, if you want to call it that, in history. Well, shoot, it's like you're looking at a woman that knows what she's doing. um, it's hard to put it into words. You have to know what you're doing. People think, oh, it's because she looks good, or it's her attitude, or she could sing. She got, you know how many people have had hit records? Do you know how many people who have sold millions of records and was popular who cannot amass the amount of attention Rihanna does? Do you know that? Do you realize that this is not an accident? What you don't know about Rihanna is that big old forehead of hers. That's full of brain. Not the brain she's been giving out, but the brain. The brain that she uses. That if Rihanna was not in the entertainment industry, she would probably be a math teacher. She is very good at math, calculus, advanced trig. There's nothing she can't do mathematically. Many of you don't know this, that she's very good in deciphering numbers. Now, what you didn't know about Riri is where it goes to another chapter. Growing up in the Barbados. Being a little girl out there trying to navigate herself in the world, to being mentioned with the greats. And like they mentioned Madonna and they mentioned Whitney Houston, and she's put in that category. It's like pop, popular. She's not put in a category of, hey, she's all right. She's she's not put in a, no offense, but she's not Christina Milian. You know, they put her up there and she's respected with the best of the best of pop stars and pop entertainment. She doesn't have to make another record to survive. So her music is able to be timeless. Even though her fans want more music, she made time for herself and to do other outlets because she sees how the music business is. So she knows her worth. And she's like, I'm compatible to 10,000 other women you're going to bring through the door. And she won beauty contests, talent pageants. She was an adult at a very young age. She knew how to be around rich, powerful men. She was alleged to have a relationship with a man that people didn't know, who was like her managers and partners. This Carl Sturken and Evan Rogers went looking for talent. These guys who got the Backstreet Boys, Christina Aguilera, they go get the Disney stars. These guys go out and like, oh, I found this girl. She's so hot. And she blew my socks off. A teenager, oh my God. And she can move like a jackhammer. And it was Rihanna. And Rihanna could sing. But it was nothing really special about the way she was singing and how she was singing these songs. The thing about Rihanna, she just blew everyone away with her presence. There was something unique about her that stood apart from Beyonce, Destiny's Child, and the rest of them. She didn't want to be a rendition of them because she was not like them. It wasn't a disrespect. She just didn't want to be into that category of, she could be raw. She could be edgy. She didn't want to be typecast as that. Riri didn't want to go back to the Barbados to be in that type of environment. Like when she says, I didn't want to go back, I didn't want to look back, like I'm going to fail. She wanted to succeed. And these creepazoids discovered and signed her at 15 years of age, bringing her back and forth to their studios in New York and taking her back to Connecticut and to the Barbados. So at 15 years old, Rihanna was out there, willing and ready to do it all. They put her on the Teen People, and she was just out there and got the attention of Jay Browns and said, oh, Jay gonna like this. A young teenage girl, and had this is Rihanna tape, and she was not afraid to be sensuous as a teenager. Jay saw this and said, Jay Browns, let me take this off your hands. I know what to do with this. So the procession was put in place to say, hey, this is where we're going to go. This is where we're moving with all of the details that we have in place. So it became a easy decision for Jay. He wanted to sign her immediately. He wanted Rihanna. He locked down the building. She does not leave this building till we come to an agreement on a contract. Jay, it was so different from Beyonce with Rihanna. With Beyonce, Jay was rumored to have said it was like raising a child. With Rihanna, it was like talking to somebody who was an adult in a kid's body, in a young girl's body. And it's like, you're too young to be this smart and this, like, how? He just didn't understand it, but he knew that this is talent, this is greatness. But, like, she's light years above what she's supposed to do. But Rihanna, from a young age, knew how to control men. So that was her motivation, is the fact that her motivating factor was that she knew how to control men and to put men, like men loved her. She knew that. And she knew how to make that work for her. And there's nothing wrong with knowing how to make something work for you and to expand. Rihanna don't do what the rest of you women do, or y'all date for just love and feelings. She did that when she fell in love. And she thought she was, falling in love when she had finally broke through after getting her record deal with Def Jam and Jay-Z. She thought, this is it. At 3 in the morning, she signed her deal. Well, when you're sitting across from Jay-Z, who's a powerful, his celebrity, it could be influencing. But at the same time, this can be something that could change your life. Might not be in a good way or the way that you're thinking, but it'll be changed. But she had Jay-Z eating out the palm of her hand. And she signed her deal. Her manager signed, Rihanna signed, and there it is. She is now part of a major record deal. As you can see, the world was hers now. Rihanna, when she was often compared to Tyra Banks, so they put her next to Tyra Banks to do the interviews. She was the next Tyra. It's like a passing of the torch. Model and singing, as Tyra Banks never went down the singing road she was supposed to. But Rihanna was going to take that torch and move on. And Jay-Z, as you can see here, and look at the way he looks at her. He never looked at Beyonce that way. The way he looks at Riri. She has him. He has Beyonce. So she knows how to control men. Rich and powerful men. She's always been able to make men abide by her will. But how does she do it? How does Rihanna pull this off? At such a young age, she's able to pull this off. She had the work ethic. She had it all. And from the time she got in this game, she showed the world what she was made of and what she could bring to the table. When these other girls, they were just bland. She had a unique quality about her. She didn't care. She didn't ask too many questions about, oh, why is this here? Why is that there? She was the girl that was ready for the spotlight. She was born for it. But achieving it and going there, being very calculative with how she moves and how she deals with people, Rihanna was able to do a number of different things to sway things into her direction. As all these other women were apple of Jay-Z's eye, just never panned out. Jay was so smart with handling Rihanna, but it was really Rihanna handling him. Because she said, if I'm going to trust you, I need to know you with me all the way. That means if I got a problem, I want to be able to contact you at all times. Jay-Z has about 4 to 5 phones. And Rihanna has the number to all of them. So when she couldn't get in contact with Jay, that became a problem. And Tierra Marie and Rihanna was signed around the same time. And Tierra Marie was supposed to be the it girl. But she ended up being the one that was passed around. And why Rihanna and Tierra Marie were the two girls who were making their way through the industry with producers and all of this different stuff that's going on. Rihanna was the only one to shine brightly and shine through. Now, she didn't want to be a part of Destiny's Child, meaning that she loves Beyonce and what she's able to do, but staying too close to Beyonce would darken her light or we want another Beyonce look-alike, and she didn't want that. She was very adamant, like I told you before. Well, Tierra Marie was like, anything you want to do with me, do it. I'm game. But what's the secret sauce when it comes to Riri? How was she able to make it and Tierra Marie faded? What happened? What happened to the group? Hmm? What happened to that whole situation? It fell apart. And she was out of the circle. But where she failed, Riri was able to succeed and not have to take the reality show route. So, being the odd person out, and Riri was able to shine and stay in that light. It's not an accident, folks. See, Rihanna don't just date. Remember I told you, she's smart, calculative. All these men wanted her attention. She focused on these men and she played these men the way a woman would play these men. She got with executives, powerful DJs, people who was in a position. But she was young. You gotta remember, she was so lucky to have spent so much time with her personal friends as she grew up. She didn't try to out any of these people. She decided to always show love and go out and date and be, open minded and have fun. She thought more like a guy, And she was out with Jay, and we all know what was happening there. Yeah, she experimented, dating a lot of guys. She went to Carnival, then of course CB. We know how that happened. Two young people, and this was her first real love. Like she loves Chris, and those two were like often in love. And this was her first time after dating. This is her first love in the industry. And after this, things were never the same. Her career skyrocketed while Chris is prohibited ever since. As they were looked at as the it couple in Hollywood, doors was going to be open for them. And Chris had a manic episode that changed it all, and for them years later to be down the road and to have a moment where they were still cool with each other, and after all he's went through and these two have been through, being two young artists in love, to have Rihanna looking like that was just so not ideal and so disturbing. Then comes the rebound guy, the worm, Drake. Champagne Sloppy came in and got her, and then it went, do what he always do, screw it all up, because he doesn't know how to have a relationship with a woman. So he screws it all up, falling all in love, and she just never loved Drake at all. He came off as somebody who was needy, but she learned. She made and got hit songs off of him and Party, and they went ahead and made and had a great career. But you see how far that went. With we got the career, we got this going, we got that going. You saw how that went. You saw it work. Then she went with baseball players, and she learned being with him and the circles out in LA. Matt was very poignant. He hung out with a lot of different executives and a lot of sponsorship people in the business. They're sitting courtside at games. And while they had fun dating, Rihanna was mostly dating him and hanging out with him while she's really building her empire with her fashion brands. And so this is free media. It's free cover of the magazine, People magazine. You're gonna get everything now. So fashion was up to par, and all of a sudden, the Drake thing is kicking off. He's coming back. I want a piece. Don't leave me. Please don't. Please, I'm a sensitive Canadian. So they're back on tour. They're doing what they do, but she's picking up everything. She uses him for what she wants. And where did she learn all this? That she's gone more dark and more into the abyss of this savagery. And she's become way more aggressive as she matures with age, with grace. She was able to maintain her same thing, staying in terrible hotels. And she was always in 5-star or better. While Drake was standing there. As Rihanna's telling Chris, I will always love you. Then Ashton Kutcher came around for a little bit. They met at a birthday party. She was able to meet some people that was into Scientology. She got into a movie based off of her relationship with these Jewish people who are into this same circle that they all are friends. So she was able to go and hang out there and mingle with these guys. And Rihanna was not treated like any of the R&B stars. She was never in that bracket. Meanwhile, Pouty Boy continues to chase her. Pouty Boy is like, look, I can give you more songs. I can write you more hits. Just please come home. You can't deny that there's something here, you know. And Meek Mill was like, man, I think I want to date Rihanna. And she's like, nah. Mm-mm-mm. And they talking about these chicks belong to the game. And said, oh, that's our hoe too. These dudes are acting like kids, right? And she was only cool with me, man. But if she threw a guy a shot, she threw a guy a shot. Rihanna thought like a guy, you know, like a guy going after chicks. She going after dudes, but her first real love is Chris. So that was her first real authentic love. Now, as she got older, she started to want to build an empire. And after Chris Brown and Drake had this ridiculous, stupid fight in the club, where Chris got a little cut under his chin from flying glass, everyone else who had any clue or an idea as to what was going on people want to pray for those people. They want those people to succeed in life. But Riri, who was all into reading these new books, they took her overseas to show her culture and art as she was hanging out with Chris, trying to figure things out. Everybody has that first love. She would run back to Chris to go hang out, to go have fun. They were back dating again. You know, she remembered the fun times she had with Chris, but the things that were the reason they broke up escalated and came back around again. And here comes Champagne Sloppy right back to say, see, I told you, just stay with me. I'm grown now. I'm ready when our babies be cute. So she went out with Leonardo DiCaprio after another birthday party. Those two ended up hooking up. And what she did was get with some upscale clients because of it. So after the fling, she had what she needed. She had some contacts on this list. He made some things happen. And next thing you know, she's got to sit down with some of the biggest people in the market when it comes to executive layouts and everything. And then here comes Travis Scott, who pulls up, and you know, Travis he's just everywhere and too much at the same time. And she liked him because they had the same vibe. But he's smothering. So People didn't like that he took Rihanna to the hood, some ghetto club, and she's a multi-billionaire. And they told her, this is ruining your brand, being with this low rent individual. So if you want Bloomingdale contracts, you want all of these things that's aligned for you, you don't want to be in Macy's. Okay? You're trying to go higher class upscale. So you can't be seen in these sleaziness. Stay with me, Champagne Sloppy. I got you. Trust me, I got OVO. And OVO is going to link up with your brand, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Well, she didn't need him to show her how to do it because he didn't know how to do it. He really didn't know how to run his OVO fashion brand. So to get back at her, he went and grabbed an old thought in Jennifer Lopez, where he hugs on her and says, "That's okay. I'm with someone who appreciates me." It's like, J-Lo? Good luck with that. So then, here comes Rihanna to one-up him with a billionaire, Hassan. And this is where things take a whole new turn for Rihanna. As with Hassan, she's able to go to these different countries and learn. So for 3 years of healing after all of these breakups and these relationships, she's getting older and it's time to start thinking about settling down. And, she's got contract issues with, Rock Nation. She's frustrated with the record business. So she's putting everything into her fashion, into dating and going out. And now she doesn't have to worry about paying for nothing. This guy's a billionaire. He's got connections everywhere. So his Turkish connections, his Indian connections, her fashion line, it's going to be secure. But the whole time, he was hypnotized to being with her. She had him under a spell. And that's why he was like, it was like I was in a spell. Like, I don't know why I couldn't resist this woman. We go back to Michelle Amy at the fashion shows, right? See her with Riri. We done told you. She's deeply connected with all of these people. Now, when you interact with Michelle Laney, do you know what you're doing? You're sitting down with a demon. And you see all of the riches, the fame, the fortune. You don't see what's finna bestow you. When it's like, oh, she just dressed weird. She's just in the fashion. She's that weird. No. She's a witch. And her husband is a warlock. They're demons. And because you can't see it, you don't understand it. Because it's not a part of what you are accustomed to. So I get it. Don't worry, I get it. But this is what's really happening. And this is how Rihanna is able to gain control. And she got everything out of that billionaire. She got all his contacts. She didn't need him anymore. Now she's 1.7 billion in the bag, baby. She don't need any of these people anymore. She's from Jura, where they practice witchcraft. Now, I don't want to say too much here. I just thought about it. I said, should I say that here? No, we won't. But this is how Riri gets control. This is why she has a $1 billion empire. She was able to use and manipulate men to her and bend them to her will. And now that billionaire's contacts are all working for Rihanna. And they don't even know why. Travis Scott is with her now because she's the voice in Travis's ear. She's the one that's inspiring these people and got him basically a beta male. He's at home watching the babies while she goes out and work and does whatever. She's emasculated him or demasculated him. And he thinks it's all his idea. Everyone else can see it. But anyway, what you think?